You ever realize that the worst decision in your career came from the things you didn't fully read? Hi everyone, welcome to the Vibe Lab. I'm your host for the day, FemiKnows. I'm an entertainment lawyer, a music exec, A&R, COO of Creatico. For years, I've worked at the intersection of creativity, business, and law, helping creatives, entrepreneurs, and industry stakeholders build, protect, and scale what they create. Now, welcome to the Vibe Lab podcast once again, where we go beyond the arts and uncover the business, legal, and strategic conversations shaping the future of the creative economy. If you're creative, now think of this as your boardroom, classroom, and reality check all in one place. So let's get into it. You ever stop and think, what's actually the most expensive thing in your creative career? Not a bad manager, not a failed project, not even a deal that fell through. No. The most expensive thing in your career is something you didn't read. Today, we're talking about the cost of not reading the contract. Now, here is something I want you to picture. You're standing on the roadside, you flag down a cab, you get in, and instead of giving a destination, you just say, "Take me somewhere nice." The driver smiles, he starts driving, you're excited, windows down, the vibes are cool. An hour later, you're somewhere you've never seen, the meter is running, and you're not even sure how to get home. That's what signing a contract without reading it feels like. You climbed in, you smiled, you trusted the energy, and the driver, in this case, the brand, the label, the producer, the platform, took you exactly where it was convenient for them. Now, the moment before you sign, I want to tell you about a feeling most creatives know and almost no one talks about honestly. You've been grinding, you've been posting, pitching, performing, following up, getting ignored. Then one day, someone sees you. A brand sends a proposal. A company wants to collaborate. A platform wants your content. An investor wants in. And in that moment, everything before the signature stops mattering. The excitement is real. The validation is overwhelming. You think, this is it. This is the break. And you reach for the pen. But here's the question nobody asks you in that moment. Should you even be excited yet? Because here's the truth. The opportunity is not in the offer. The opportunity is in the terms. Most creatives who get to that table, that long awaited, finally here, I made it table, walk away having agreed to things that would take years to undo. Not because the other party tricked them, but because they were too overwhelmed to read. A contract is not a celebration, it's a conversation. And you need to know your side of it. You might arrive, but the question is, will you like where you end up? Now, here are three things creatives ignore in contracts. Let's be specific because I don't want this to be another episode where you feel informed but still don't know what to look for. The three clauses that creatives consistently overlook and consistently regret. Number one, usage rights. Who can use your work? For how long? On what platforms? In what territories? These questions sound boring until a brand you worked with 3 years ago starts putting your face on a billboard, on a TVC, on a campaign you never agreed to, and there's no legal ground for you to stand on because the contract said worldwide, perpetual, royalty free, use of all deliverables. That sentence is 12 words It gave away your work forever. Always ask, what exactly can they do with what I create and for how long? Very, very important. Now, number two is payment timelines. Most creatives look at the numbers and don't read the conditions. You see 500,000 naira and feel good, but the clause says payable within 90 days of delivery, subject to client approval. That subject to client approval is a trapdoor. It means they can delay, dispute, or withhold indefinitely. And guess what? You agree to it. Ask yourself, when am I getting paid? What triggers the payment? And what happens if it doesn't come? Money in a contract is a promise. The clauses are the conditions of that promise. Number three, ownership clauses. This one is the most dangerous for creatives building long-term value. A work for hire clause, a full assignment of intellectual property clause, a waiver of moral rights clause. These are not standard, they are aggressive, and many agreements quietly include them. If you sign without understanding these, you may hand over ownership of your music, your content, your script, your designs permanently, and the royalties, the credits, the licensing, revenue, gone with it. Now, ownership is the difference between a career and a transaction. Now, let me make this real. A content creator works with a brand, a single campaign, one deliverable, one payment. 3 years later, that brand is still using the content. New campaigns, new platform. The creator sees it everywhere. They reach out and they're told, check your contract. And there it is, unlimited, perpetual use, paid ones, used forever. Or this one, a musician records a track. It ends up in a brand advertisement. It ends up in a brand's advertisement. The ad runs nationally. The brand earns impressions, revenue, brand equity from the artist's voice, the artist's sound. No royalty structure is in the contract, no performance fee, a flat rate, one time. Now the ad becomes iconic. The artist gets nothing more. These aren't cautionary tales from abroad. These are conversations happening in Lagos, everywhere you go, right now, this year, presently. Now, here's what I need you to understand and hear me. Contracts don't trick people, confusion does. Nobody sat down and thought, let me ruin this creative. Most of the time, the other party is simply protecting their interests. And they hired someone to write language that does exactly that. Now, your job, and I mean this as a professional responsibility, not just advice, is to understand what you are signing before you sign it. That means reading it. That means asking questions. That means getting help if you don't understand. That means slowing down even when the excitement is telling you to speed up. The deal will not disappear because you ask for 48 hours to review. And if it does, that itself is information. Now, let me leave you with this. Every creative who has lost something they worked hard for, their music, their content, their royalties, their likeness, their time, lost it not at the moment of betrayal, but at the moment they signed something they didn't understand. The contract was the decision. Everything after was just the consequence. If you don't understand agreements, you don't control outcomes. Now read the contracts, Ask the questions. Get the structure right. Because in this industry, what you agree to quietly, you live with loudly. Now, if this episode made you think how you move as a creative, then you're already ahead of most people in the industry. But thinking is not enough. Structure is the next step. We'll see you on the next episode of the Vibe Lab. Make sure you follow and stay locked in. I'll see you on the next one. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Bye, y'all.